हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रजन रंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रजन रंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की जय। शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। श्री श्री गौरांग निताय की जय। श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय। श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय। शीला प्रभुपाद की जनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet Shravtam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shamana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto Hya Bhadrani Vidhunoti Swahsatam Nashtaprayasha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki. Hare Krishna. So today we'll be covering Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 9th Canto, Chapter 12, the Dynasty of Kuśa, the son of Lord Rāmacandra. And there is a lot of chronological lineage that's described in this chapter, which we'll cover in the first 5 minutes itself. So, and then we'll come to the topic of some philosophy as well as some glorification. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So in the previous chapter, of course, Canto 9, Chapter 11, we covered Lord Rāmacandra, how he rules the world, and how, after 13,000 years, he performed various yagyas, and finally he went back to his abode, Vaikuntha. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 9th Canto, Chapter 12, verse 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Kuśasya Chatithis Tasman Nishadhastat Suto Nabha Pundariko Atha Tatputraha Śrīmad-Tattva Bhavat Tataha. Shri Shuka Uvacha. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Kuśasya of Kuśa, the son of Lord Rāmacandra. Cha also Atithi, Tasmat, from him. Nishadha, Tatsutaha, his son. Nabha, Pundarikaha, Pundarika, Atha, thereafter, Tatputraha, his son, Śrīmad-Dhanva, Abhavat, became, Tataha, thereafter. Translation by His Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Shukdev Goswami said, the son of Rāmacandra was Kuśa, the son of Kuśa was Atithi, the son of Atithi was Nishad, and the son of Nishad was Nabha. The son of Nabha was Pundarika, and from Pundarika came a son named Śrīmad-Dhanva. There is no purport, so we'll cover a few more translations till the purport. The son of Śrīmad-Dhanva was Devanik. Devanik's son was Aniha. Aniha's son was Pariyatra, and Pariyatra's son was Balasthala. The son of Balasthala was Vajranabh, who was said to have been born from the effulgence of the sun god. The son of Vajranabh was Sagana, and his son was Vidruti. The son of Vidruti was Hiranyanabh, who became a disciple of Jaimini and became a great acharya of mystic yoga. It is from Hiranyanabh that the great saint Yajnavalkya learned the highly elevated system of mystic yoga known as Adhyatma Yoga, which can loosen the knots of material attachment in the heart. The son of Hiranyanabh was Pushpa, and the son of Pushpa was Dhruvasandhi. The son of Dhruvasandhi was Sudarshan, whose son was Agnivarna. The son of Agnivarna was named Shigra, and his son was Maru. Having achieved perfection in the power of mystic yoga, Maru still lives in a place known as Kalapagram. At the end of Kali Yuga, he will revive the lost Surya dynasty by begetting a son. Purport. At least 5,000 years ago, Srila Shukdev Goswami ascertained the existence of Maru in Kalapagram and said that Maru, having achieved a Yoga Siddha body, would continue to exist until the end of Kali Yuga, which is calculated to continue for 432,000 years. Such is the perfection of mystic power. By controlling the breath, the perfect yogi can continue his life for as long as he likes. Sometimes we hear from the Vedic literature that some personalities from the Vedic age, such as Vyasdev and Ashwatthama, are still living. Here we understand that Maru is also still living. We are sometimes surprised that a material body can live for such a long time. An explanation of this longevity is given here by the word Yoga Siddha. If one becomes perfect in the practice of yoga, he can live as long as he likes. The demonstration of some trifling Yoga Siddha does not constitute perfection. Here is a factual example of perfection. A Yoga Siddha can live as long as he likes. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So this lesson has a lot of lineage, but there are some hidden lessons there. Once again, this particular chapter has some hidden lessons, so we'll be looking at those. And of course, there are many more, so I just picked up 2 of them because they were prominent. So here, King Maru had attained perfection in the practice of yoga. So that's been described. And he is still living in a village known as Kalapagram. So at the end, he will continue the lineage of sun god. And then Shukdev Goswami is describing this lineage from Vaivasvata Manu, and then the sun dynasty is being described by him as who came after who and so forth. He also describes who would come in the future, not just that who has come till now. So he continues to describe that in the dynasty were Prashushutra, then came Sandhi, and then Amashana, Mahaswan, Vishwabahu, Prasenajit, Takshak, and Bhadrabala. And Bhadrabala was killed by Abhimanyu. So he also addresses that he was killed by your father. So again, Maharaj Parikshit, he's addressing Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit's father was Abhimanyu. Then he says these were all the kings that had passed away except for Maru. So again, he is continuing further that the future descendants of Bhadrabala will be Bhadradhana, Urukriya, Vatsavruddha, Prativyoma, Bhanu, Divak, Sahadev, Bhadrashva, Bhanuman, Patikashva, Supratika, Marudev, Sunakshatra, Pushkar, Antariksha, Sutapa, Amitrajit, Bhadraraj, Barhi, Kritanjaya, Ranjaya, Sanjaya, Shakya, Suddhoda, Langala, Prasenajit, Shuraka, Ranak, Surat and Sumitra. All of them will become kings one after another. Sumitra, coming in this age of Kali, will be the last king in the Ikshvaku dynasty. After him, the dynasty will be extinguished. Hare Krishna. So here, as is given, like after Sumitra, the dynasty will be extinguished. But then again, it is said that Maru will proceed with the dynasty. So these are all the future kings also given. So here, Shukdev Goswami is describing this to Parikshit Maharaj, who is about to die in 7 days. Means again, as it was initially when the narration started, when Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam started. So he was cursed to die in 7 days by Shringi, the young Brahman boy. And now, this is not talking of one king, he's talking of a whole lineage in the Sun dynasty. And even there, he's saying that even the dynasty ends. So, in this material world, nothing is permanent. And this material energy is very strong. So he's describing not of what to talk of one person. The whole lineage also ends. The lineage, in this particular case. It's also ending. So Devi here Isha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that this material energy is very strong. It's very difficult to overcome. But Mame ye prapadyate mayam etam tarantite. But those who surrender unto me can easily cross over it. Right? So when you hear cross over it, it definitely brings to the image an ocean. Right? You're trying to cross an ocean. That's what material energy has been described time and again. It's a vast ocean, and how are you going to cross that ocean? But the solution is also giving. Take to the shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and then you can easily cross over. Very nicely. And also, we covered earlier, Samashita ye padda pallava plavam. So the Lord's lotus feet are as soft as the lotus buds, but they are the perfect boat. Now there, the lotus feet are described as boat. And to cross an ocean, what you need is a boat. And that's where the Sankirtan Yajna comes, right? This is a boat of Sankirtan Yajna in this particular age of Kali. And it was very interesting, as I was discussing this with another devotee, and he says, you know, why are different sacrifices for different ages? So again, we refer to the verse, Krite tadadhyayate Vishnum, Tretayam yajato make, Dvapare paricharyayam kalotad harikirtanat. Krite tadadhyayate Vishnum. So in the Krita age, the Satyuga, means just by meditation, one could attain perfection. One can go back home, back to Godhead. So in the Satyuga, all 4 religious principles were there. Austerity, mercy, cleanliness and truthfulness. They were all there. So now, and the people who were born in that particular age were referred to as Hamsas. Right? And then there are Paramhamsas, even higher. So again, they were religious and they understood the religious principles. Now you can say, but what about Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu? They also appeared in Satyuga and they were. So again, we also hear from religious perspective that Hiranyakashipu, how he consoled, after Hiranyaksha's death, Hiranyaksha's wife and his mother and his sons, how did he console? By giving that example of Yamraj coming as a Brahman boy in the battlefield, where the queens were not letting go of their husbands, the king who had died while fighting valiantly. So they were religious, at least these religious principles were there. So it was easy to meditate, and people would meditate for tens of thousands of years. Prachetas meditated for 10,000 years. Vishwamitra, his meditation was interrupted, but he also continued to meditate so much. So, coming with the Treta Yuga, the cleanliness went away. Oh no, the austerity went away. Because to be able to meditate, you should be able to take on great austerity, right? So, austerity vanished with the coming of Treta Yuga. And yet, you can do performance of yagyas. And for performance of yagyas, 6 types of cleanliness, the place, the purohit, the material and so forth, they need to be very clean and pure. So that was still there. So they could perform yagyas. And these yagyas could still be performed for thousands of years at times. Because we heard in Treta Yuga, Lord Rāmacandra, he performed it for 11,000 years, continuously one after another. And he ruled after Mother Sita left for 13,000 years, as we heard in the previous chapter. So here in Treta Yuga, just by performing fire sacrifices, making oblation in the fire, one can attain perfection, one can get knowledge and attain perfection. And with the coming of Dwapara Yuga, cleanliness went away. So now, you cannot maintain cleanliness, you do not have the strength to perform austerity. So at that time, deity worship started. And Lord Krishna himself appeared in the Dwapara Yuga, so, there were people who could serve his lotus feet and attain perfection. And we also covered how the sages at Dandakaranya, they got the opportunity, many of them, to appear as gopis. And by taking shelter of the Lord, they attained perfection, the love of Godhead. And then came Kali Yuga. And with the coming of Kali Yuga, the mercy disappeared. And so people became very merciless, as per se. And as in today's society we see how much people are, not just performing, being merciless in their action, but also in their behavior. Everyone is actually tuned to 3 FM stations. WII-FM, as Vaisheshika Prabhu refers to it. What's in it for me? What do I get from this? There's a Chinese saying, I don't know the Chinese wording, but no money, no talk. No money, no talk. I don't need to deal with you anymore. Don't take my time away. So what's in it for me? And then E2FM is the second channel. Everything exists for me only. Everything around me should be serving me. And that's how in Nectar of Devotion, Srila Rupa Goswami describes as how expansion, when a person is born, they first associate with parents because there's an expansion, because they give sense gratification, they take care of the baby. And then comes siblings, so it expands to siblings, to the neighborhood, to the country, and so forth. But all these isms, socialisms, nationalisms, and all those, they're just an expansion of, seeking sense gratification, looking from this body perspective. And here in this particular chapter, we are seeing all these kings, their bodies are diminishing one after another. The body may go, but then the soul is eternal, right? We understand. And that's the message, important message, that the soul is eternal and one should be engaging it with the right purpose. So here, with the coming of Kali age, the mercy has gone away, austerity has gone away, cleanliness has gone away. What remains? Truthfulness. And as the age advances, even that diminishes. And then Kalki Avatar comes. Yet at the same time, Maru, he continues the Sun Dynasty. So it may appear contradictory at times, as this chapter describes, but it all makes sense from another perspective, because everything ends in this material world related to the material energy. However, the spiritual energies, they continue on their path. And living entity is a marginal energy of the Lord, who is same yet different. Same in quality, but different in quantity. Minuscule versus Lord is infinite. So here, what do we do in this Kali age? Kalatat Hari Kirtanat, right? Dwapare Paricharyayam, deity worship in Dwapara Yuga, and then Kalotat Hari Kirtanat. So Hari Kirtan, Sankirtan Yajna has been inaugurated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we should take to it Sankirtan Yajna. Now the interesting thing is, irrespective of what age is there, there is one statement given by Lord Krishna that even though this is the easiest, it is the best. The opulence of the Absolute in Bhagavad Gita, he describes, Maharshinam Bhrigur Aham. Of all the great Maharshis, the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Giram Asmya Ekam Aksharam. And of all the vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Yajnanam Jap Yajyo Asmi. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy name, Japa. And Stavaranam Himalaya. And of all the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. So of all the sacrifices, Whether you talk about meditation, where you need a lot of austerity, whether you talk about fire sacrifices, where you need to take care of a lot of cleanliness, where you talk about deity worship, where you have to be very merciful and compassionate towards other living entities, or whether you talk about Sankirtan Yajna. Of all of them, Lord Krishna is clearly identifying that the Japa Yajna, the sacrifice of chanting of the holy name, is the supreme most. And how we do it? Just by raising our hand and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, it talks about japa. So another question comes is, when did Sankirtan start? Right? Chanting of the holy name is taking Lord's name. Sankirtan, congregational chanting of glorification. Kirtan, kirti, right? Means glorifying someone. And we are glorifying the Lord in a congregational chanting. So that's the mood. So everyone is getting benefited when we all join together and do Sankirtan Yajna. So Gauranga Das Prabhu, he gives a very nice example. He gives an example from America where we live, right? He gives the example that once this gentleman, he comes and says, oh, I want to perform yajna in my house. I just bought the house, I want to perform yajna. Right? You know, Graha Pravesh and all those ceremonies are there. So the devotee said that you want to perform yajna, that's great. Let's do Sankirtan Yajna. And he's like, what is that? Because he wanted to understand, you know, what all it entails, what all samagris need to be there. They said, no, don't worry, we'll bring all the instruments and everything and we'll all chant together. Kirtan will go on. He's like, no, I want fire sacrifice. He's like, but this is the best one. But he would not understand. He said, no, I want fire in the middle. And then you make oblations of butter and so many wonderful offerings to fire, and that's how we do it. Okay. So the devotees went to his house. And then they started this Sankirtan Yajna. Oh, this Yajna, the fire sacrifice. And this gentleman, he was saying, put more. You know, he wants to make more and more offering. It's like, don't restrict. And it's inside the house. So they had to open the windows so that the smoke can escape. But then he was asking to increase the fire in the fire sacrifice. And the devotees were getting concerned because it's becoming really high. And what happens? There is a sprinkler system installed. So the fire, sure enough, produces enough smoke to trigger off the sprinkler system. And now there is water everywhere. Everything is flooded. It's a brand new house. Everything is flooded. And he is now upset. Said, what have you guys done? He said, see, this is what we were telling you. And now he's kind of like upset that you guys did not take care of it. They said, no. If you pay attention, after fire sacrifices, rain appears, right? So, this yajna is successful. You cannot say that this yajna is not successful. And he agreed. He was completely satisfied that the yajna is successful. And then the devotees explained to him. See, that's why we were saying that you should perform Sankirtan Yajna. And he understood the message. And of course, when he shared with his friends, they decided to go for Sankirtan Yajna, not for fire sacrifice, for their own reasons now, right? Because you have to now re-establish the connector in all the sprinkler system. That's another expense. And it is said that money is sweeter than honey. And any times you have to pay someone to do something that you could have avoided. And then explaining that this is the simplest process. Yet at the same time, this is the best of all four. It doesn't take so much time. Because there is also a matter of how long will you live in this material body. So you have to cross the ocean, you take the shelter of the boat, which is much easier than a yogi who's exercising day and night, performing great austerities for tens of thousands of years. But our life in Kali age is only 100 years. We can't even get started and then it will finish in that path. So it's very easy for us to understand that we have to take to Sankirtan Yajna and take our path back home, back to Godhead. Now another thing is, when Srila Prabhupada, he was in New York and he was looking at the billboards. And there was one question on a billboard, is there sex after life? So Srila Prabhupada said, just see. They are already trying to seek sense gratification here, and they are thinking if there is sex after life, then I don't have to worry about anything. So he gave the example of a drunkard. His friend there was a drunkard, and whose friend said to him that, oh, if you drink, you go to hell. You'll go to hell. Give up drinking. He said, no, my brother also drinks. He will also go to hell. Oh, my father also drinks. He will also go to hell. My sister also drinks. She will also go to hell. My relatives, they all drink. They will all go to hell. Then the drunkard came back and said, if they are all there in hell, then it's not hell, it's heaven. That's the mindset. That's the material mindset. That if there is sex after life, then I'm enjoying now and I'll continue to enjoy later. And when they hear that, oh, you're performing this yajna. Why are you performing this Sankirtan yajna? Because you are praying to the Lordship, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, that please engage me in your service. And they are like, but we are constantly engaged in service in this life, and we continue to engage in service. So without understanding the main philosophy, they say, I don't want to take the system, because nobody wants to serve. Their mindset is, as soon as we serve enough, we make enough, then we become masters. They want to climb over the person who they were serving at times. We talked about that story of the frog and the stone. Right? There were all these frogs, and every day they would pay obeisances in front of a stone. So a young frog was just born, and he was growing up, and he was always wondering, why is everyone paying attention, paying obeisances to this stone? Trying to understand why. And one of the elderly frog, he said that, oh, this is God. Shishi Gorantai ki jai. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Shri Sitaram Lakshmi Hanuman ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anant Kore Vaishnavind ki jai. So here, it's very interesting. We say, this is God, and God appears to our eyes. Very merciful. And so, he said, oh, is that so? And one day, as they were paying obeisances, this young frog jumped over the stone. And they said, oh, what have you done? You jumped over the God. He said, no. If I could jump over, then this cannot be God. So we have to find someone who is God. So Bagla heroine, right, is normally... So he said, oh, I've seen that bird, and we can't jump over that bird. So let's go to that bird. Let's call that bird as God. So they all went, and this heroine, Bagla in Hindi we say, normally stands in one leg, showing that he is meditating, right? And then when the fish comes, quick, immediately, it catches it and eats it up. Yeah, crane, thank you, crane. So this crane, we can't jump over the crane, so let's consider him God. And the crane is thinking, wow, free food. So he agrees. And every time they would bow down, how do you bow down? When you bow down, you close your eyes and you put your hand to the... He would immediately pick one or two and eat it up. And so, all the frogs, they lost their life. The lesson is, Lord is merciful that He appears in various forms in front of us. That's His mercy. And we should understand, following the scriptures, following the acharyas, as how He appears and how merciful He is. Our eyes, material eyes, they have no capability to see God. Yet God is so merciful that He appears in the deity form. And He gives us the opportunity that we can serve Him. He appears in the form of His name. So, Lord's name and Lord, they are not different. So Krishna is Krishna's name, right? They are not different. He's so merciful. And so we should be calling it in a very prayerful mood. We heard in Ajamil's pastime, as how Ajamil unknowingly called. And then one devotee was saying, once again he was not a devotee, he was trying to understand the philosophy. Now he's a devotee. He was saying, but Prabhu, that's just one unique example. Give me another example. And we are discussing Ramayana. And Valmiki, before that, he was a hunter. And he was almost a dacoit as well, right? He was trying to steal from the various travelers. So, at that time, when Devashi Narad, and we covered this story as how Devashi Narad said that, met him and said, for whose benefit are you doing this? Why are you doing this? He's like, to make sure that my family is maintained. Then he said, Devashi Narad said, but this involves a lot of sin. You'll have all these sinful reactions. Will you be ready? Will they share the reactions? He's like, sure, why not? My family will share the sinful reactions. And so why don't you go and ask them? So he goes back and he asks his parents, and he's like, no, you're a son, you're a grown-up, we are old, it's your responsibility to maintain us. So why should we take reaction? You are supposed to be maintaining us in the rightful manner. If you can't maintain us, if you perform sins, then you have to suffer the reactions of sins. He is very upset. So he goes, oh, at least my wife will agree. He goes to his wife. She says, no, why would I share the reactions of your sins? Your responsibility as a husband is to maintain me and provide for me. And if you do something sinful, then you are responsible for that, not me. He says, maybe my children will agree. But no, same thing. You are our father, you have to maintain us. How you maintain us is your responsibility. If you perform sins, you have to suffer. So immediately he develops detachment, right? So there is a saying, Ek sunaki, saw lohar ki. The small taps of goldsmith, are not as effective as one from the, what do you call? Lohar is? Blacksmith, yeah, Buddha smiths. So here, that effect has happened, and he immediately develops detachment. And he goes to Devashi Narad, what do I do? And all these reactions, sinful reactions that I'll have to suffer. Then Devashi Narad, he is happy. That okay, finally he has taken shelter, the right shelter. Not of a crane, that I can't jump over, not that. But one who has given him the path. So he says, you have to chant Lord's name. So that's also glorification. To chant Lord's name. Say Ram. He said Ra, couldn't say Ma, right? Ram. He couldn't understand. So he says, say Ram. And then Devashi Narad finally realizing that this hunter cannot say Lord's name, says say Mara. Ma-ra. He says, that's easy, Mara. So he says, just chant Mara. Sit at this place, and just chant Mara, 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 Mara. If you pay attention, he is not chanting Lord's name, but he is chanting Lord's name. Right? Mara, if you remove the first Ma, is continuously chanting, so it becomes Ram, 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 Ram. While he is chanting to himself, Mara, 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 Mara. And so, over a period of time, now he is so determined. Right? And this Satyuga, austerity that invokes in him. And that he is for thousands of years, he is chanting. And Devashi Narad, one day he says, let me go and see that hunter, how he is doing. And he comes and he sees, he can't find, and there is a whole anthill at the place. And then he realizes that actually he is inside the anthill. Chevana Rishi also was a similar case, inside the anthill. So that's why Valmik is the word for anthill. So Valmiki is his name, because he was inside the anthill. So when he comes out, immediately pays obeisances. But at this time, he was so elevated that he wanted to be sure that he doesn't step on a single ant. Great transformation. Devashi Narad is very much pleased. And then he gives the instruction, just like he gave instruction later on to Vyasdev, that he should glorify the Lordship, and came Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. At that time, Devashi Narad said, write the glorification of Lord Ram, Ramayana. And that's how you get Ramayana. So there are many examples in the history where a person may not be chanting the Lord's name per se, because Ajamil was calling out for his son. And here, Valmiki, before he became Valmiki, as a hunter, he was chanting Mara, Mara, Mara. Mara means I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. It has a completely different meaning. But then the Lord's name, Ram, is so effective that it purifies him to that extent that he is able to compile Ramayana. So those are the glories. And now comes the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he inaugurated Sankirtan Yajna in this age of Kali. So this reference comes from the Shiksha Ashtaka, right? The very first verse is where he is glorifying like the effects, the blessings, the 7 blessings we get because of the chanting of the holy name. Cheto darpanamajanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreyah kairav chandrika vitaranam vidyavadhu jivanam anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam puramrita swadanam sarvatma snapnam param vijayate Shri Krishna sankirtanam. Cheta, mind, a heart, or consciousness. Darpana is mirror. So the mirror of the heart. Marjanam is cleansing. So by chanting of the holy name, the mirror of the heart is cleansed. So if look at a mirror. If you're looking at a mirror, it's got a lot of dust. Can you see yourself? No. That's the reflection that when we are born in this material world, we cannot see the soul ourselves. But we see the body. And then we associate with the body. So that is material conditioning. So sometimes we talk of materialist. And everything in this particular matter that people see is matter. They fail to see that there is a spiritual being behind this matter, which is the cause of consciousness. So here, by chanting of the holy name, the dust is removed. So one realizes that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul, I am Brahmasmi. And then one realizes this, that I am the spirit soul, that Atato Brahma Jigyasa, that inquiry is, there is a possibility of that inquiry. And when one makes that inquiry, one seeks, how do I get out of this material world? What is the place where I can go, where I can always be happy? Why? Because by nature the soul is Anand Bhaya Abhyasat. So by very nature we are Prasannatma, right? So the soul is seeking, we are seeking our true nature, the very nature we are used to. Because this material world, the 3 kinds of miseries in this material world, they are very foreign to us. And we struggle in it. We don't live, we survive somehow in this material world. But we want to take a shelter where we can live happily, peacefully. So by cleansing the mirror of our heart, we are able to see. So that's where the inquiry starts. And now we start looking shelter. Bhav Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. Bhav Maha. Great. And Davagni is, Mahadavagni is great forest fire. Nirvapanam is extinguishing. So the chanting of the holy name extinguishes the great forest fire of this material world. Because we are constantly being burning, right? There is Chitta and then there is Chinta. Chitta is the fire at the pyre that the body is burned after one dies, leaves the body, the soul leaves the body. While Chitta is anxiety, the constant anxiety. There is a dot difference. And that dot is that the body is burned at the fire at the pyre when the soul has left. But we are, Chinta, the anxiety is burning us when we are alive. So we are constantly burning. And we want to get rid of this burning, this anxiety. Right? So by chanting of the holy name, this forest fire is extinguished. So there are so many times we hear in California, there are so many forest fires, they break out every year. And they burn thousands of acres of land. So how much, troublesome it could be. We are talking about a forest fire, the all life someone is going through and trying to seek solution outside. That's very interesting. So there was this man, again, how they're finding the solution outside, that's being exemplified here. As he comes out, he comes to his home, he parks his car on the driveway at night, pitch dark, Amavasya night, right? Just like that Friday night. And last Friday, it was Amavasya. And he comes out, and unknowingly he drops his keys. And it's like, and the keys just, they just seem to fall out as he's coming out. And he's like, there's no way I can find a key here. But he looks at the lamppost. It's lighted there. So he goes to the lamppost and starts looking for the keys under the lamppost. So another person says, oh, he's looking for something. So let me help him. So the second person, he comes to him and says, what are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for my car keys. So he starts looking for car keys as well. And then suddenly, he doesn't see the car keys under the lamppost. He says, where did you drop your keys? Oh, I dropped it near my car. And why are you looking here? Because it's lighted here. I can see things here, so I'm looking here. While I have dropped the keys near the car. That's the wrong place to look, first of all. Right? And that's the material tendency. It's easy for us to see faults in others and try to say, you should correct yourself so that I can interact with you properly. Right? I did not talk about the third FM channel. That was, what can you do for me? WCYD FM. So again, they're always seeking, materialists always seeking, what can you do for me? Right? You should change your behavior so I can be happy. Everyone should serve me so I can be happy. That's their mindset. If you ask them to, become a servant, that's not an area. How can everyone serve me? That's their mindset. So here, the constant anxiety that's being, burning us. How do we extinguish? Simply by chanting of the holy name, by raising our hand and chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then the third blessing is Shreyaha, excellence. Auspiciousness. It's a, invocation of good fortune. Kairava Chandrika, lotus moonshine, Vitaranam. So, just like the moonshine that causes the lotuses to bloom, that pleasing moon rays we experience in our life. Right? First you got rid of anxiety, but now you're at level 0. Previously you were negative. You came to level 0. Now it actually takes you higher. By saying that you get this soothing, moon-like rays that is very pleasing. And comes the fourth blessing, Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. So the life is full of knowledge, transcendental knowledge. And Vadhu means bride, yes. And so, especially in the Grihastha ashram, Vadhu means, newly married bride is regarded very nicely, welcomed very nicely. So you can welcome the transcendental knowledge in your life. So you are in bliss, you're getting more bliss. Because now you're understanding the philosophy. So the attraction develops to hear the glories of the Lord's name. And you are blessed with transcendental knowledge because you're welcoming it. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. So and then this bliss, Ananda, the constant happiness, it increases like an ocean, right? Till now we had been looking for showers. We are not getting in a pond or a river, we are getting a whole ocean. So by chanting of the holy name, you are constantly in this ocean of bliss. And what do you do in the ocean? At every step, Prati Padam, Purnamritas Aswadanam. And this is not the ocean of salt water. This is a nectarian ocean, right? Purna Amrit. It's completely pure, Purna, unalloyed. Srila Prabhupada liked that word a lot. So, it's nectar that you are relishing, you're hearing, and Shruti, right? By ears, you are constantly hearing this and constantly experiencing by all your senses. When you look at the Lord's form, with your eyes, you're drinking that nectar. When you hear the chanting of the holy name, you're hearing, glorification of the Lord with your ears. When you're serving the Lord, by the very touch, you are experiencing. Because when you look at ocean, right? When you look at water, you drink it, you feel it, you smell it and so forth. And this is nectar. So you're constantly, when you smell the tulsi leaves at the lotus feet of the Lord, and when you eat prasadam, what to talk about? I know, it's time for prasadam. So you're constantly in ocean of bliss, experiencing. Pratipadam at every step. Not that there may be a step. So every step in the spiritual world is a dance and every word is a song. So experiencing it. Sarvatma snapnam. So we are constantly bathing. What to talk about? Just getting a little bit. We're constantly being bathed. All our senses and all our spiritual senses are awakened at this time. Param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So, Param vijayate. So, vijayate means be victorious, but Param vijayate, be victorious above all by engaging in this congregational chanting of the holy name. So that is the request. Understand that we have to give up this material conditioning, give this attitude of seeking sense gratification, rather engage in satisfying the senses of the Lord, who is also known as Rishikesha, the master of the senses. And then we will be able to experience the true happiness. So that's the message I got from this chapter, one of the main messages. And I shared. So here, just by chanting of the holy name, we can re-invoke our dormant consciousness, the spiritual consciousness, and reawaken it and engage in devotional service. Simply by raising our hand and chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments, Prabhu? Can you get him a mic? Thank you. And you can turn whichever mic color, turn the audio on as well. Hare Krishna. So we have an audio system, so we need to make sure that we capture your voice for eternity. Hare Krishna. We are very blessed that Adipurusha Prabhu is visiting us. Did you turn the volume on? Okay. Can you get the other one? Hare Krishna. Whoa. Get the other one. Hare Krishna. Get the grey one. Make it low. Make it half the distance.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Hare
good.
Krishna.
That's good. This is good. Okay.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for describing these dynasties.
Yes.
See, it's one of the 10 topics of the Purāṇas. Vamsha Anukatha, the dynasties, Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha.
Yes.
And in the Bhāgavatam for Kali Yuga, Sankirtan Yagya is glorified. But also in the beginning, we see that the Bhāgavatam itself is glorified as the repository of Dharma for Kali Yuga. So what would you say is the correlation and proportion, the proper recipe for Sankirtan Yagya and Bhagavat Dharma or Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Was the place of the two for our advancement in this age? Bhagavatam and
that's what we talked about, that the transcendental knowledge is revealed to you, so you are experiencing. And just like you said, there are two references given in the very beginning. First is when the great sages were asking that now that Lord Krishna has gone back to his abode, whose shelter will we take? Right? And whose shelter will, means when you are saying we take, means all the populace in Kali Yuga would take. And then it is said that this Bhagavat Purāṇa has emerged like a rising sun in this age of Kali. And why was this Bhagavat Purāṇa written? Was already described very nicely by Devashi Narad when he, instructed Vyasdev, is that you have not glorified the Lord enough. Kirtan, right? Kirtan is glorification. And then glorification of the Lord is done in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So the very existence. And Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is not different from the Lord. The name is not different from the Lord. The deities are not different. So we are surrounded by Lord. He is keeping us. And anytime we develop pride, He is very merciful that He immediately, sets us back on the right path. So by taking the shelter, so again, we are taking shelter. And Lord is so merciful. He's appearing for the glorification in form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And then in 12th canto also, the Kali age effect is described, right? Kalera dosh nidhe rajan hasti ekho mahan guna kirtanat eva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajit. So Shukdev Goswami is also saying that this Kali age is an ocean of faults. Yet at the same time, it has one great quality. The greatness is that Kirtanat eva Krishnasya, just by chanting the glories of the holy name, Lord Krishna's, of the holy name, one can easily cross over this ocean. So again, those were the references I am able to pick out. And please share more if you have. And of course, Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion talks about the 5 of the 64 devotion services, the kind of activities we can engage in. The 5 are the most potent ones. Here, again, Sankirtan Yajna is also referred there. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Deity worship is also identified. Living in a dham is also identified. Which one am I missing? Devotee association. The most important one, right? The most important one, because if you try to do alone, then you are none other than the mystic yogi. You are trying to do your own path. But this is a cruise line, This is a great cruise line where you have all the devotees who are chanting Sankirtan, congregational chanting of the holy name. So that's been glorified. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you.
A question.
Yes.
It seems to be mentioned that in Kali Yuga, truthfulness is the last surviving principle of religion. But devotees sometimes ask, they say, but where is that truthfulness? We see that people do not...
Yes. So in the beginning of Kali Yuga, truthfulness was the only one surviving. But it diminishes as the Kali age progresses. So as the age would progress, even that quality goes away. So we're here in the very first canto, where Parikshit Maharaj, he meets Kali. And what is Kali doing? He's hitting the 4th leg of Dharma, right? So because, why is he not hitting the other 3? Because they're already destroyed. And he's trying to destroy the 4th leg of Dharma, the bull. He's, symbolically presented as bull. And he's trying to destroy that. And of course, with the coming of Kali age, that leg is also getting destroyed. The 4th religious principle of truthfulness is also getting diminishing. And that's why in 430 to 1000 years, the duration of Kali Yuga, this quality will diminish. And sometime, it's very interesting, I'm not going into statistics, when sometimes things diminish, they diminish it's very easy to see in the beginning. And then you become so accustomed to seeing that you don't really see the later on differences. Right? In the beginning, when you are seeing something, you suddenly feel a shock. That wait a minute, this is diminishing, so forth. So imagine, if you're getting such a shock in the beginning, what will happen later on? Means in 12th canto, Shukdev Goswami goes in detail as how this Kali age deteriorates. Where for Paramount, the wife kills her husband, and Srila Prabhupada gave the reference that to keep the secret a secret. It was known that in India, means again he was giving a very specific example, A mother had poisoned her own son so that this secret doesn't come out. Hare Krishna. Yes, you were saying something. So yes, even that quality is diminishing. It is going away. So we should immediately understand that we have to take the right shelter. And instead of taking a shelter of a crane somewhere, following mystic yoga, some so-called gods out there, we should take the right shelter. And there are 4 paramparas. You got choices. And ours is Brahma Sampradaya, right? So take shelter in one of the sampradayas, the bona fide disciplic successions, and take to the process in the sampradaya, so you can go back home, back to Godhead. And yes, by serving, you go back home, right? When you are on a boat, one of the most important tasks for all the crew on the boat is, when you are in a submarine or a boat, rowing. Yes, rowing is important. Yet at the same time, another, even more important than rowing is to do the, if something that hurts it's to make sure that there is no hole and all that. The self-preservation of the boat. The preservation of the boat is most important. And if you see the Navy folks, they want to say, okay, 80% of them are more skilled in making sure that they repair the boat or the submarine than really row the boat. It's only the 10 to 15% that really take care of rowing the boat or driving the boat. But everyone else is focused on making the boat, maintaining it very well. And if there is a damage to the boat, then they repair the boat. So that's one of the main tasks. And together, everyone has to be, working together. And Srila Prabhupada gave the example that when in a kitchen, there will be utensils and they will collide against each other. There will be some noise. But the important thing is that they should stay together. So he said that your love towards me is shown as how you cooperate with each other. And that's the important principle. How we cooperate with each other, irrespective of our differences, to be able to keep this boat safely sailing to its goal is the important perspective. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. And keep it pointed there to the Panchatattva mantra. Yeah, now this is good. Oh, it's not on. That's okay. I'll repeat it then. It should say green.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. My question is like the dynasty, solar and lunar, sun dynasty,
Sun dynasty and
moon dynasty. So those kings, they took care of the dharma in the previous ages.
Mm-hmm.
But when the right time came, like when people are degrading,
Yes.
this is the time they need to give more protection. Why they winded up their activities and waiting for the age to end?
Excellent question. This is a very important question. Srila Prabhupada in 1966, he was giving this lecture where he described that you fall into Atlantic Ocean and you are being tossed by the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. What would you do? And then immediately he gave the solution as well. And then people were contemplating, why did he give the solution so fast? Because he wanted to make it easy for everyone. He said that you want to get out of that Atlantic Ocean. You cannot change the nature of the waves. You cannot say Atlantic Ocean, you become stable, so I nicely swim. And take me to the shore only. And become so and so. So that's the attitude. We look at the light under the lamppost and we say, this is where the light is and this is how it should be. This is where I should find my keys. But that's not where he lost the keys. It's in the dark. So we are in this age of darkness. Kali age is also referred to age of darkness. And just like in this age, just like in the Atlantic Ocean, one gets tossed by the waves left and right. In this Kali age, one is getting tossed by the threefold miseries, right? Adhyatmika, Adidevik and Adibhautik. Adibhautik is one caused by the other living entities. Adidevik is the natural disaster, tsunami, and so forth, floods. And Adhyatmik is the one born from one's mind. And that has a snowball effect. So, in this particular age, all these kings, means again, Maru is the one who's, staying. We also heard that Vibhishan stayed for whole Kalpa. So he also, in Kali age, he survived. We also hear that Vyasdev is there, Ashwatthama is there. even though they are there, they understand that this particular age is an age of all this. All the religious principles are lost as time goes by. Even truthfulness is lost. So, most important one is to get out of this material world. They understand the purpose also of this life, right? So Prahlad Maharaj is also glorified that he was saying that I'm not so much worried about ourselves, I'm worried about all these beings. But then, we also know that Kalki avatar would come, right, in this age. And will annihilate all, and then finally, at the beginning of Krita Yuga, again, Hamsa's reign will start. So, it's only a matter of darkness at the night. So, why worry about staying awake during the night? Why don't you recharge yourself so you can go back home during the night and wait for the sun? And even better is, find the light if you are in darkness. And that light is through taking to the shelter of the holy name, Sankirtan Yajna, and the Paramparas, of course, in proper bona fide disciplic succession. One should take shelter and engage in this Sankirtan Yajna. So, Agyat Sukriti is also referred a lot. That people who are, fortunate, they are engaged unknowingly. Just like Ajamil. He was unknowingly engaged in calling his son Narayan. So his son was named, we covered the story as how his son was named Narayan by the mercy of the sage. And so he called him Narayan because he was calling for his son and he was very dear. But unknowingly he was warding off all his the reactions of his sinful actions of the past. He was getting cleaned up. And then the topic comes is, but he was not performing it purely. But he was performing it purely. Right? He was calling for his son in a loving manner without offenses. So he was not meditating on the Lord and saying, engage me in your service. Yet at the same time he was doing offenseless chanting. So by not committing offenses, you are not saying that I am chanting the name so that my reactions on my sinful acts get washed away. He was doing it unknowingly that way, but without offenses. So he was getting washed off. So in this Kali age, they understand what the purpose of this life is. They understand that Atlantic Ocean, we are being tossed left and right. We are in this age of darkness. But what's the goal of life? Goal of life is by chanting of the holy name and getting out of this material world. Take to the shelter. And Srila Prabhupada, he was empowered, he came to the West, now he has spread Krishna consciousness all around the globe. Take shelter, it's everywhere. Right? So they are saying that Lord, by His mercy, has sent His devotees to propagate this knowledge all around the world. The great acharyas have appeared. And they have written so many commentaries. So much material has been provided. So much preaching is going on. Right? So who says they are not active? They are active in their words. They are active through their compilations. They are active. And they are helping us every day, every moment. Now we are sitting in the dark room. And we are saying the sun is outside, but no, it's dark in here. We have to get up and get out of that dark room and come in the sun. There's a very nice example. Srila Prabhupada was once addressing, was it in Bangalore? In India. Basically, there were 3-4 Indian reporters were there and one French reporter was there. And they were talking about this Dhyan Yoga, right? The great mystic yoga that you get mystic powers from. And Srila Prabhupada was saying, and then they're talking about the light. And then Prabhupada was saying, no, you're talking about that light that happens before the sunrise. That's abhas. Just before the sun rises, there's some light at the horizon and you see, there is some light outside. But sun has not risen yet. While you come in Krishna consciousness and the sun is at its full power, right? It's right up there and you're seeing the sun and you're fully in sunlight. You're bathing in sunlight. So that is Krishna consciousness. So we have to come out of that dark room into the sun and experience the bliss. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. The ocean of bliss. And just taste the nectar. Purnamrita Swadanam. And once you taste the nectar, you'll be just bathing. Just like you're bathing in sunshine at spawning time when it's fully grown, fully risen. So just like that. So again, they're all active through their writings. Srila Prabhupada, he is very active. Every time you pick up, Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya, you're directly associating with Srila Prabhupada. You're reading his purports. And they're revealing the great secret to you. The great acharyas, they're revealing through him the great secret. Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sanatana Goswami in Rasamrita Sindhu. Again, there's so much literature. So we have to just come out of the darkness to take to the shelter. Hare Krishna. And then there are great preachers like Adipusha Prabhu going around the globe preaching the holy name. So we have to take shelter. Hare Krishna. Yes. What are you talking about, Prabhu? Rāmacandra, Srila Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Right. The samskara grew, to follow. Yes. 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 Right. Srila Prabhupada. Yes. Right. And Srila Prabhupada, in this very chapter, it's very interesting. He was writing that in this particular age, Brahmanical means again, there are no Kshatriyas or Brahmins. They're basically Vaishyas and Shudras, the capitalists and the labor class. They are the only two classes remaining. And there is a great need to have Brahmins. So that's why he propagated this around the world, and he, made so many qualified devotees who took to Brahmanical culture. So it's awakening, yes. There is a global wide awakening since Srila Prabhupada's propagation of Brahmanical culture. In the past, the kind of Brahmanical culture, I still see it in India. The Brahmanical culture is, we have the Purohit who is coming in to do some fire sacrifice. And the first thing as he enters is, can I have some tea, please? And then, while you are making tea, he comes out with his tobacco, and starts patting on it, trying to eat. And in 12th Canto, when you look at that picture, when you see that scene, you know what Shukdev Goswami is saying. That in the Kali age, the Brahmanas would be identified just by the thread, the Brahmanical thread. They will give up all the Brahmanical culture aspects. So you have to take to even transcendental path. Brahmanical culture, where the focus is serving the lotus feet of the Lord. Yes. Yes. They were greater than kings in many aspects. See, a king is only respected where his kingdom is. But a great acharyas, they are referred to as Thakurs. Right? They are respected no matter where they are. A king is only respected in his kingdom, while yes. 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 Sure. Yeah, please. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Fully in agreement. When they're supported by the ruling class. That ruling class is not there. So they don't have the support. Yes. So that's your question. Why did they give up their responsibilities as Kshatriyas and not engaged in taking care Yeah. You'll have to ask them, Prabhu. Adipusha Prabhu, do you have an answer?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
In short answer.
Oh, describe it in detail.
So that
This is also mercy.
we are inspired to surrender to the Sankirtan movement. If you are, if everything is pakka, perfect, comfortable, nice,
Yes, we surrender to the couch, which is actually very true. If you ask a materialist person who's conditioned materially, seeking sense gratification, when you say, why don't you take to Krishna consciousness? No. When everything will be perfect, then I will. When I would have become old, won't be able to see anything, won't be able to even stand, forget about walking to the temple, won't be able to hear anything, won't be able to taste anything, no teeth, right? Then everything would be perfect and I'll take to shelter. You have not taken shelter when you are in a perfect body. How will you take shelter when your body is deteriorating? And then they're saying, but the true perfection comes when the chanting would happen, when I'll be lying on the body will be on the pyre, burning. That's the perfect state they're thinking at times. Yes.
he says that we say, I will start my work on self-improvement when I reach that gate.
Yes.
And when you come to that gate,
It has moved. The target moves. Oh, okay. It's a cemetery gate. Very good. Crematorium. Yes. Prabhu, take this one.
slightly longer, is that in the 10th Canto, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes a far-out story. You may have read it about Kali approaching Krishna at Kurukshetra. You remember that? Yeah, Jonas? Kali comes to, they have this big yagya. So first of all, these kings are hiding in the mountains, not out of their own free will because they like it, but because you read Canto 12, these royal families, they killed each other through intrigue, politics, poison. It's not that he just left and hid. No, they had to protect one line for the next Satya Yuga. And regarding Kurukshetra, it was Kali coming to Krishna at Kurukshetra, and he says, "Dear Lord, this is the material world, and Kali Yuga is only on planet Earth, and only planet Earth. Everywhere else you don't have." According to Bhāgavatam 5.19.19, or Swargakanda, Swargakanda of Padma Purāṇa, only Earth, and he says, Kali Yuga is only 10%, and this is the material world. So this is the only time, the only place where materialists can be materialists. Otherwise, what's the point of having the material world? So he said, if you leave this world like Lord Rāmacandra in full glory with everybody, then devotees go with you, non-devotees become devotees, and demons you kill. So there will be no Kali Yuga. So he said, what will I do? So Krishna says, don't worry. I will make a drama. Yadus will fight. I will be hit with an arrow. So if somebody wants to be an atheist, they will have a chance.
He satisfied with one act, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Yeah. Maru, yeah. That's been referred in this particular chapter. Right. And again, there is enough shelter provided. If you can't take so many shelters provided, then what would one person do in this Kali age? While they have to continue to perform that mystic yoga, so they pass through this age sometimes. So their purpose is, there's a great night coming and let me just pass through my night so that I am ready for the morning. That's their perception. Yes. Hare Krishna. Gantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki Janant Kare Vaishnavind ki jai. Nitaya Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna